Welcome to the Exit Plan Show. Today's guest is Elizabeth Moore. She's a Member Services Director at Business Enterprise Institute in Denver, Colorado. Stick around to the end. We're going to give you an opportunity to subscribe to a newsletter and also win a free copy of the #1 book about exit planning. Thank you to Zarlingo Robb, CPAs and Business Advisors in Wheat Ridge, Colorado, for providing a location for us to film this episode. At Zarlingo Robb, they think like business owners. For more information about Zarlingo Robb, please click the link in our website show notes. Hi, I'm Norman A. Hood, financial advisor and host of the Exit Plan Show. I interview America's top advisors like today's guest, Elizabeth Moore, to help business owners like you enjoy more personal freedom, grow your company faster, and retire someday on your own terms. So again, with us is Elizabeth Moore with Business Enterprise Institute in Denver, Colorado. She manages a national network of exit planning professionals. And if you want more information about Elizabeth or Business Enterprise Institute, you can check out the show notes at the end of this episode. So welcome to the show, Elizabeth. We're going to talk about step 4 of the 7-step exit planning process, which is selling your company to a third party. And I'm sure that process isn't flawless. Problems come up once in a while. So can you tell us about some of the problems that come up when you're selling to a third party?
Sure. There are quite a number of problems that can come up. You won't normally see them until you go to sell the business to the third party, but they've actually been created probably years in advance. So the number one thing that we see is that business owners they're very attached to their businesses and they're very emotionally connected to them, and they've spent a lot of time, usually their whole adult life, and all of their money and all of their blood, sweat, and tears putting themselves into these businesses. And so they have a pretty strong opinion of how high quality and high value the business is, and often they're right about that. Mm-hmm. So that's not actually where the problem comes in. But the problem tends to come in when business owners don't prepare for a sale of the business by thinking about their company from the buyer's point of view. So what happens is buyers come along and buyers uncover all of the mistakes and all of the flaws in the business, and business owners tend to see their business in a very positive light. They have put a lot of effort into it, and they like the idea that the business is strong and it's usually pretty successful. And buyers coming in and looking under the carpet and looking in the closets and seeing problems with HR practices, or a problem with accounting practices, or problems with any other kind of distribution or supply chain issues. Those are things that business owners think, well, I get around that and I deal with it, but the buyer may not see it that way. So buyers are going to have a much more critical eye, and what business owners should be doing is thinking about their business from the buyer's perspective many years before they go to market. So exit planning for business owners who are inclined towards a third-party sale is really all about just preparing the company and preparing the individual owner or owners for a successful transaction. So we don't try to say what's going to be in that transaction, what it's going to look like, or even who the buyer is. What we're really talking about is, well, what does an unknown general buyer look for? And what kinds of things are going to concern them? And can we do anything about that today? Mm-hmm. So what we want to find are all of the flaws ourselves, and then fix them, mm-hmm. and find all of the difficulties and the negative things about the business and deal with those today. And what you find is that if you do that, then when you get to the negotiating table with a buyer who's real and has real money to offer you for your business, you're in a much better situation, because they'll say, well, I don't know that your documentation for your employees and their immigration status is up to date, but as you know, you've done a complete audit of your employee records and you've verified the immigration status of every employee. Mm-hmm. That's something that business owners who are in a bigger hurry or just assume that things have been taken care of are going to overlook. Buyers are not going to overlook anything, and we're constantly told that buyers are sending in multiple due diligence teams. They're investigating every possible negative aspect of the company, and they're really using those to bring the price of the business down. We don't want to see that happen. So third-party sale planning for us is really all about preparation and viewing your company through the lens of the third-party buyer. So what we want to do is get a really high quality mergers and acquisitions or transaction team in place early. Don't wait till it's time to put the company on the market. What you want to do is get your team in place, investigate the company as if it's been going on the market today. Find all of the flaws, and then create an action plan to fix them. That team is now very familiar with your company. They know everything about your business, and they're able to manage the conversations with buyers when they do come along. So that's what we see as the most important difficulty for business owners, is not seeing the company from the buyer's point of view. And it can easily be addressed through working with a qualified team, getting people to help you look at the company the way a buyer will look at it, and then fixing things in advance of a third-party sale transaction makes a very, very big difference in the likelihood a transaction will close and the likelihood that you'll get maximum value for the business.
Okay, great. So Elizabeth summed that up pretty well. If you want more information, though, you can check out the show notes on our website, where you can also find more information about Elizabeth and Business Enterprise Institute. And while you're on our website, please subscribe to our newsletter, which also gives you the opportunity to win a free copy of the #1 selling book about exit planning.